Ladies, if your man gets on a two-stroke YZ250 and complains that the thing vibrates too much, you have a girlfriend. I just want to do a quick random video about this build that I'm currently working on. Figured I'd drop this because I'm getting a lot of comments and questions on all my social medias about it. So essentially it goes as this. Basically it's a 2024 YZ250 two-stroke, and I bought it off my buddy Paul. He gave me a good deal on it, and he owned the bike for probably like a year. Didn't put many hours on it because they had a lot of four-strokes too. But it's like a 1 or 2 owner bike. It was about 15 total hours on it. You can see other videos I've made so far about purchasing it. Also have another video up of me doing the subtle modifications, which for like $500 you can essentially put these things at 53 horsepower. You don't even need to jet them most of the time. But basically when I bought the bike, it had a flywheel weight on it. But since then I've taken out the flywheel weight. I decided I like that hard hit that these bikes come stock with. If you're racing woods and things like that, it's totally normal to add a flywheel weight, but you know, you got the GYTR flywheel weight option, you got others, but essentially I just took it out. I wanted that crank to spin up as fast as possible. And with that said, I'll talk about the motor mods first. The biggest thing was the FMF pipe, fatty pipe, factory. We also got the FMF shorty silencer on the back. It goes hand in hand. You got to get the FMF or the Pro Circuit. A lot of people pick that. I also proceeded to put the V-Force reed kit in. I got this GYTR ignition cover on this side, and I decided to go with the Recluse clutch cover on this side. It's a little bit of a higher capacity cover, so you can put close to a quart in it this way. Keeps oil temps down, so they say. The stock jetting in it is completely stock. I believe it's a 178 main. I'm not sure on the Pilot. I haven't touched it yet. I do have jets I bought. And, you know, as we go to the track and do other things with the bike, we'll kind of figure that out as we go. But it's been running really great. And I run it 40-1 as of now. I got to do a little more research on that. I might change to 36-1. Not really sure, because the plan is to rev this beast out. But that's a work in progress. As far as I know, everybody runs 40-1, and you're pretty much safe with modern Yamaha lube oil. It still had the stock tire on it when I bought it, the OEM dealership tire. So I got this meat hook here, R34 brand new Dunlop, and the stock size on the rear is a 110 wide, but I opted to go for a 120 to try to put traction down. You know, that didn't really help too much. If you watch my previous video, this thing basically does landscaping when you're out riding this thing. For the front, I put on the Dunlop factory spec. Haven't really ridden it at a track or racing yet. It's gonna come in the future, but so far I really like that tire. I wanted to get the factory spec rear, but they didn't have a 120. So basically just went with a 120 R34 in the back, factory spec in the front. Had to get the Dunlops. I went with the Renthal, the new Renthal lock-on grips. So far I like them. They seem a little more rubbery than the Odie soft grips, but they are lock-ons. They work pretty much exactly the same way. Also wanted to go with the ARC indestructible levers, or so they say. ARC Baxter product. If you ever break them, they'll send you a brand new one for free. But they are folding. They're really nice. Stock perch, but I'm probably going to polish that. Previous owner lost the little rubber boot, but it's okay. I'm just going to leave it like that. These are the stock bars, and so far I like them. There's actually a lot of pros that leave the stock bars on them, but I had to get the Pro Taper, you know, team pad. I'm probably going to get Pro Taper bars in the future. Something else to mention is this build is never going to be done. I'm going to own this bike for the rest of my life, essentially. It's going to be in my will. And there's always going to be stuff that I can add. There's pegs, titanium nuts, bolts, pieces, all types of stuff. Might do wheels, hubs, you never know. I mean, it's endless. But for now, I got it to a point where like I really wanted it, where I envisioned this bike. Down on the bottom, I added the Tribes skid plate. Really like that piece. These bikes don't come stock with a skid plate. The X model might, but yeah, so basically had to add that. That thing looks really nice with the blue and the black and the white. I just replaced the rear sprocket. Stock chain, front sprocket stock, but all that eventually will change. It's just there's so much life left in them. Decided just to get the black sprocket on the back. Looks nice. 50 tooth. I didn't do the 47, 48, or 52. Some people do. We'll see in the future though. So aside from that, I also got the Cycra black plastics kit, and it came with the Cycra front stadium plate, it's called, which is really nice. You have to kind of fix this up, get this piece going. You know, it's got the extra guards down here, and then you zip tie it. Stays in place really nice. It's really a nice look. My only suggestion is don't make the mistake I did when putting on these KYB graphics. I usually go to this line here. Well, I had to cut up some old clear graphics that I had laying around to kind of cover this. I didn't want this to scratch up the fork, so just take mental note of that when you go to install yours later, because that can probably chew up that gold and you don't want to do that. So I had to add some there. No one's going to notice, but yeah, it should be pretty dialed. And then as far as the graphics go and the seat cover, that's all Decor Factory 2026 450 Star Monster Yamaha team graphics, same ones. They're running in Supercross right now. Had to get them, love them. Had to get the seat. The seat was not too hard to install. It's not perfect, but sometimes, you know, over time, it'll kind of stretch and lay a little bit flatter. There's a few little spots, but nothing that anybody really is going to notice. Back here, this part wasn't too bad. Just have to staple, unstaple, restaple again, stretch, and do your best. But overall, it came out really good, so it's totally fine as is. I'm really happy with it. For the two-stroke, you have this the airbox cover, which is really nice, gloss black. Had the name put in there for the channel. The fitment and installing these graphics was super easy. Super impressed with Decor. You know, you pay up for quality, that's what you get. Everything laid down, just add a little bit of heat. Everything laid down perfect. Got the Supercross up top there. I'm pretty impressed myself. With all that said, basically I wanted to switch back over to a two-stroke. Yes, it's old technology. I actually have a DRZ 400 SM with a 434 big bore kit in it. That thing rips. And you know, it's old technology and I love that bike. There's something to be said about it. Same goes with this bike. This bike and the DRZ I'm very happy with, and it just so happens neither of them have EFI or mapping and all that stuff. We don't need that. We just want high horsepower, let her eat. That's what's up. I only ridden this thing a few times since owning it and upgrading it. It's the middle of winter and it's here in central Alabama. It's very cold, and then the tracks are all wet and muddy. We got an ice storm coming. The one race I could attend was a very small track, so it wasn't like I even got a feel for the bike. But there's a lot more coming up, and I wanted to switch to a two-stroke because it's what I grew up on. I talk about that in my previous videos, and so far riding it, I have no complaints. It's a new exciting journey for me. Everybody has really taken a liking to this build, this bike, all my friends and stuff, the internet. People are loving the YZ250. It's super popular. The bike's known as the legend. It has outrun all the other two-strokes, the CR250s, all that stuff. This bike is it. Tons of videos about this bike, so that's why I'm really happy to own it now, and I absolutely love it. This one's staying with me for the rest of my life. You know, I was trying to think of some complaints on the bike. I don't really have any. I know some people say it vibrates a lot versus like the KTMs or the Can-Ams and all that. Well, I've ridden it a lot so far, and I have no complaints about that. I mean, any man that gets on this bike and complains about it vibrating, like if you're a man and you jump on a two-stroke and you go and ride and you get off of it and you're like, oh my gosh, it vibrates so much, I can't, like, dude, just like go back to the kitchen, go cook dinner, because this ain't a bike for you, pal. Yeah, ladies, if your man gets on a two-stroke YZ250 and complains that the thing vibrates too much, you have a girlfriend. This thing's an absolute beast, and that's the way I'm gonna leave it. This thing weighs 227 wet. There's really nothing else that compares to that, like those concrete filled frames on those four-strokes. I'm just kidding, everybody has four-strokes. I love them too. So anyway, but if I got a four-stroke, I'd probably go back to a 450, but they're just like 3,000 pounds. So anyway, I'm vibing this. But yeah, we'll leave it at that. I'm gonna do some racing on this thing, some riding, let the weather warm up and stuff. I'm gonna knock out a bunch of shorts on this bike. Reels, social media ain't ready for it, so you're gonna see a lot of this bike around. If you want to build a Yamaha YZ250, this is the way to go. I highly recommend it. And you know, 53 horsepower, can't go wrong, man. Just go out into a field and just rip. It's so fun. Thanks for watching.